So in the book, there's some comments about optimism, our natural
Mm.
tendency to focus on the negative 1%.
Mm.
And I'd love to hear your thoughts about the advantage of optimism.
Sure. Well, we evolved this way. Just like in our physical bodies, we evolved with our amygdalas watching out for danger. So we tend to have a really itchy trigger finger on all the things that might be dangerous for us. Now, our emotions and our mind followed suit. And so that we tend to look at the world in a very negative way, right? I mean, just look at the news. The news is the
No,
0.1% of the
please,
stuff.
please don't make me look at the news.
Okay. Well, you can imagine someone imagining looking at the news. You can keep your distance from it. But you know what it is, right? It's all about polarity. It's all about the most negative, 0.0001% of what's going on in life. It's not an actual reflection of all of life. And our minds do that too. I call it pothole management. If there's 1,000 miles of perfect road and there's one pothole, in our team meetings at work, where do we spend our energy? We spend our energy on that one pothole, and in our own minds. The last time you got a performance review, if you're at work, like there can be 5 pages of glowing comments about all your strengths and one half of a paragraph about something you need to work on. And you spend the next 3 days like agonizing over those 2 sentences, like you just got kicked in the stomach. And it's human nature. This is how we're programmed. And so typically it's pessimism. Like we start from a place of pessimism of all the things that might harm us. And that's how we evolved. But to balance that out, we go to optimism because those systems kept us alive. Nobody said anything about happy, right? So to go to happy, and it's not just about happiness, but it's about the scope of our life. I'll give you an example. If I get I have a longer story about this, but if I get feedback about my guitar playing, I play the guitar and I sing, right? If I get feedback on that and it's not good, I retreat into this little shell, right? And then if somebody else asks me, it's like, hey, can you play for this event? I'm like, I don't think so. Because it turns out you start to get very small and you don't want to try new things. But if you're optimistic, and you have this belief that's like, I'm fine. I can do anything. I can try anything. Then if somebody asks you to do some new experience, take on a new role at work, take on a new idea at work, you're open. You're open to all these things. And so the aperture of our lives gets so much bigger. We become more creative. I'm watching my kids grow, and my daughter's a freshman in college at the moment. And she was talking about this experience she was having. And she's like, I'm trying to expand my comfort zone, and this is totally outside of my comfort zone. And to me, as a older person, I'm watching it going, wow, what she's talking about doing is no big deal, like to me, but for her, it was terrifying. But this is how it happens. As we expand and expand and expand our comfort zone, we look back and go, wow, look at all the things I'm comfortable doing. Look how much more capable I am. And that starts with optimism, because it's in that moment of choosing the new thing that if I'm pessimistic, I never choose it. I have friends who have never traveled anywhere in their whole life, and that's fine if they didn't have resources. But wow, every time you travel, every time you try a new ethnic food, you expand your world. And pretty soon you're comfortable doing anything.